Ladies, let's talk about something we've all wondered about at one point or another. You're spending time with a man. The chemistry is there, the vibe feels right, but something seems off. Maybe he's sending mixed signals, or perhaps his actions don't completely line up with his words. You can sense there's something deeper brewing beneath the surface, but he's holding back. Well, let me tell you, when a man is hiding deep feelings for you, there are signs. They may not always be obvious, but they're there. It's about learning how to see beyond the surface and pay attention to what he's not saying as much as what he is. When a man has deep feelings for you but is hesitant to express them openly, one of the clearest signs is how he prioritizes your needs through his actions. Even without declaring his emotions outright, he will go out of his way to make sure you feel supported, cared for, and valued. For him, showing love or affection is often less about grand romantic gestures and more about the everyday ways he can be there for you. This might mean helping you solve a problem, checking in to see how your day went, or going out of his way to make sure you're comfortable and happy. These actions reflect his desire to be a reliable presence in your life, even if he's not ready to put his feelings into words. This prioritization often becomes apparent in the way he responds to your needs, both big and small. If something is important to you, it becomes important to him. He listens attentively when you talk about your challenges, and he genuinely wants to help you find solutions. Even if he's busy or dealing with his own responsibilities, he will find time to support you because he wants to show that he's dependable. This effort to prioritize you isn't about obligation, it comes from a place of genuine care. He may not always verbalize what he's doing, but his actions will clearly demonstrate that he sees you as someone special and worthy of his time and energy. One key way this prioritization manifests is through thoughtfulness. A man with deep feelings for you will notice the little things that matter to you and take them into account. If he knows you've had a stressful day, he might bring you your favorite snack or offer to help you relax in some way. If he remembers that you have an important event coming up, he'll check in to wish you luck or ask how it went afterward. These gestures may seem small on the surface, but they reveal his attentiveness and his desire to make you feel seen and appreciated. Thoughtfulness is his way of expressing affection without directly saying, "I care about you deeply." He also prioritizes your emotional well-being. A man who is hiding deep feelings for you will often go out of his way to ensure that you feel safe and supported emotionally. He might step in to defend you in a challenging situation, offer comforting words when you're upset, or simply be present when you need someone to lean on. Even if he struggles to express his feelings verbally, his protective instincts and attentiveness show that he genuinely cares about how you're feeling and wants to be a source of stability in your life. This emotional support often speaks louder than words and is a clear sign of his underlying feelings. In some cases, he might prioritize your needs to the extent that he puts aside his own. If he sees an opportunity to make your life easier, he'll take it, even if it means inconveniencing himself. This could look like rearranging his schedule to spend time with you, going out of his way to help you with the project, or offering you advice or resources that could benefit you. These actions aren't about seeking recognition or expecting something in return. They're a reflection of his desire to see you happy and fulfilled. His willingness to go above and beyond for you reveals how much he values you, even if he's not ready to openly express his emotions. When a man prioritizes you in this way, it's a clear sign that his feelings run deeper than he's letting on. Even if he hasn't found the words to say how he feels, his actions consistently reflect his care, respect, and admiration for you. When a man has deep feelings for you but struggles to express them verbally, his body language often becomes the clearest window into his emotions. Unlike words, which can be carefully chosen or avoided, body language is more instinctive and tends to reveal what someone is truly feeling. A man who is hiding his feelings for you may unconsciously display signs of affection, interest, and nervousness through his physical behavior. These subtle cues can tell you a lot about what's going on in his heart, even if he's trying to keep it to himself. One of the most telling signs is prolonged eye contact. When a man has strong feelings for you, his eyes naturally gravitate toward yours. He may hold your gaze a little longer than necessary during a conversation or find himself looking at you when he thinks you're not noticing. Eye contact is an incredibly intimate form of connection, and when a man consistently seeks it out with you, it's often because he feels something deeper. His gaze might also soften when he looks at you, reflecting the affection and care he feels but might not be ready to express in words. At the same time, if he's nervous or unsure about his feelings, he might quickly look away when you catch him staring, a sign that he's trying to mask his emotions. Another key indicator is the way he positions himself around you. If a man is hiding his feelings, he will often unconsciously lean toward you when you're talking, as if drawn to your energy and presence. He may angle his body to face you fully, even in a group setting, or find excuses to be physically close to you. These small movements reflect his subconscious desire to be near you and show his focus is on you. On the other hand, if he's feeling particularly vulnerable or unsure of how to proceed, he might alternate between leaning in and pulling back, creating a push-pull dynamic that mirrors the emotional conflict he's experiencing. Physical touch is another area where his hidden feelings might surface. He might find subtle ways to initiate contact, such as brushing his hand against yours, placing his hand on your back, or giving you a hug that lingers just a bit longer than necessary. These touches often feel casual on the surface, but they're his way of creating a deeper sense of connection without explicitly stating his feelings. If he's more reserved or shy, he may avoid physical touch altogether but still position himself close to you, showing that he wants to be near you even if he's hesitant to take it further. Pay attention to his nervous behaviors as well. A man hiding deep feelings might fidget, play with objects in his hands, or adjust his appearance when he's around you. These small signs of nervous energy are often subconscious responses to the intensity of his emotions. He may also stumble over his words or struggle to maintain his usual composure, especially if he's caught off guard by a moment of closeness or vulnerability. These behaviors are often a clear indication that being around you affects him deeply, even if he's trying his best to stay composed. Overall, his body language becomes a powerful indicator of what he's feeling beneath the surface. Even when he's not saying much, the way he moves, looks at you, and interacts with you speaks volumes about his emotions. These unspoken signals are his heart's way of revealing what his words may be too afraid to say. When a man has deep feelings for you but is reluctant to express them, one of the most telling signs is how well he remembers the details about you. This isn't just about the big moments or the obvious things that everyone notices. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant details that most people overlook. A man who cares deeply will pay close attention to what you say and do, and those details will stay with him because they matter to him. He remembers because he's invested in understanding who you are on a deeper level, and this is his way of showing you that he values you, even if he hasn't openly admitted his feelings. You might notice this in how he recalls things you've mentioned in passing. Maybe you told him about your favorite childhood memory, a dream you have for the future, or a small preference like how you take your coffee. Even if it was a casual conversation that seemed to come and go, he'll bring it up later or act on it in a way that shows he's been paying attention. For example, he might surprise you with your favorite snack after a tough day or reference a story you shared weeks ago, demonstrating that he was listening intently. This kind of attentiveness isn't something he extends to just anyone. It's a reflection of how much he values your words and wants to connect with you on a meaningful level. His ability to remember the little things also reveals his emotional investment in you. When someone doesn't feel strongly about another person, they often forget the smaller details because they don't register as significant. But when a man has deep feelings, even the smallest things you say or do can stand out to him. He's not just listening, he's processing and storing that information because it helps him understand you better. This could range from remembering your favorite song to knowing the name of a close friend you mentioned once. These details matter to him because you matter to him, and he wants to be someone who knows and understands you in a way that others might not. It's not just about remembering what you say, it's also about noticing what you don't say. A man with deep feelings for you will often pick up on the subtle things like changes in your mood or body language. He might sense when something is bothering you, even if you haven't explicitly said anything, or notice when you're especially happy or excited. He's attuned to you on a deeper level because he's paying attention to more than just your words. This level of awareness shows that he's emotionally connected to you and is genuinely interested in how you're feeling and what you're experiencing. This attentiveness can also show up in the way he anticipates your needs. He might take steps to make your life easier or more enjoyable, even without you asking. If he knows you've had a busy week, he might offer to help with something or plan a thoughtful gesture to cheer you up. His ability to notice what you need and act on it demonstrates that he's not only paying attention, but also prioritizing your happiness. This kind of care and thoughtfulness isn't something he extends lightly. It's reserved for someone who truly matters to him. A man who remembers the details about you is someone who is deeply invested in you, even if he hasn't explicitly shared his feelings. His actions and attentiveness reveal the depth of his emotions, even when his words don't. When a man has deep feelings for you, his protective instincts often become one of the most obvious signs of how much he cares, even if he isn't ready to express his emotions outright. This sense of protectiveness is not always loud or dramatic, but is often seen in the subtle ways he looks out for your safety, comfort, and well-being. It's an inherent response that comes from a place of genuine care, and it's his way of showing you that he values you and wants to ensure nothing harms you emotionally or physically. His actions may not always come with an explanation, but they carry a consistent message. He wants you to feel secure and supported when you're around him. One way this protectiveness shows up is in how he responds to situations where you might need help or support. If you're dealing with a challenge, whether it's something practical like fixing a problem or something emotional like a rough day, he'll step in without hesitation. He may offer solutions, lend a helping hand, or simply make himself available to listen and provide reassurance. Even if he doesn't always have the perfect answer, his willingness to be there for you speaks volumes about how much he cares. It's not about being controlling or overbearing. It's about his desire to make your life a little easier and let you know that you don't have to face things alone. This protectiveness also extends to how he reacts when he perceives that someone or something might hurt you. He may become more alert or defensive in situations where he feels you're being treated unfairly or disrespected. For instance, if someone speaks to you in a way that feels dismissive or inappropriate, he's likely to step in and stand up for you, even if it's subtle. His instincts will push him to ensure that you're treated with the respect and care you deserve. This behavior is not about being possessive or jealous. It's about wanting to shield you from unnecessary negativity and protect your sense of peace. Another aspect of his protectiveness is how he pays attention to your needs, sometimes even before you express them. He'll notice when you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed and will try to lighten your load in whatever way he can. This could mean encouraging you to take a break, offering to handle something on your behalf, or simply reminding you to take care of yourself. His protectiveness isn't just about responding to external threats. It's also about nurturing your emotional and physical well-being. He wants to create an environment where you feel cared for and supported, even in the smallest ways, even when he's not physically present. His protective nature can still shine through. He might check in on you throughout the day to make sure you're okay, or offer words of encouragement when he knows you're facing a challenge. If you're traveling or doing something out of the ordinary, he may express concern for your safety and ask you to let him know when you've arrived. These actions might seem simple, but they reflect a deep desire to stay connected to you and ensure that you're safe no matter where you are or what you're doing. His protectiveness is a direct reflection of his feelings for you. It's not about being overbearing or trying to control you. It's about showing that he values you deeply and wants to create a space where you feel secure and cared for. His actions are his way of expressing emotions that he may not yet be ready to put into words, but they speak just as loudly, if not louder, than anything he could say. When a man has deep feelings for you but struggles to express them, one of the most telling signs is his willingness to share personal thoughts and experiences with you. This can happen gradually and may not always come in a flood of emotion, but his openness is a significant indicator of the trust and connection he feels. For many men, opening up about their innermost thoughts, fears, and vulnerabilities doesn't come easily. It's often something they reserve for those they truly care about and trust deeply. When he begins to let you into his world, it's a sign that he values you and feels safe enough to share parts of himself that he might not reveal to others. You might notice this in the way he starts to talk about his past. He could share stories from his childhood, experiences that shape him, or challenges he's faced along the way. These moments of sharing are often deeply personal and may reveal things he doesn't discuss with just anyone. He may open up about family dynamics, moments of failure, or even insecurities he's carried with him. These conversations go beyond surface level topics and allow you to see who he is at his core. For a man who struggles to articulate his feelings, this type of sharing is a way of building a deeper bond and letting you know that he trusts you enough to hold space for his vulnerabilities. Another way his openness shows is in how he talks about his goals and dreams. When a man feels deeply connected to you, he wants you to understand what drives him and what he's working toward in life. He might share his ambitions, long-term plans, or the passions that fuel him. This isn't just about giving you insight into his life. It's also about inviting you to be a part of it. By sharing his vision for the future, he's indirectly signaling that he sees you as someone he could imagine by his side. This level of openness isn't something he would extend to someone he doesn't feel deeply connected to, as it requires vulnerability and trust. He may also confide in you about his current struggles or internal battles, whether it's work stress, personal doubts, or decisions he's grappling with. His willingness to let you in on these aspects of his life shows that he values your perspective and feels comfortable being honest with you. For many men, expressing vulnerability can be intimidating because it requires a level of emotional risk. By choosing to share these parts of himself with you, he's demonstrating a profound level of trust and respect for the relationship you share. You'll likely notice that he listens and responds differently when you open up to him as well. He doesn't just want to share his thoughts. He wants to understand yours. He'll engage deeply in conversations, asking thoughtful questions, and remembering the things you shared with him. This two-way exchange of openness creates a foundation of trust and connection that strengthens your bond. His efforts to connect on an emotional level, even if done cautiously, reflect his desire to build something meaningful with you. When a man has deep feelings for you but is hesitant to reveal them, one of the clearest signs is his consistent presence and support in your life. He may not always articulate how he feels, but his actions will speak volumes. His dedication to being there for you, even during the most challenging or mundane moments, is a reflection of the value he places on you and the relationship. So this consistency is not about grand gestures or occasional acts of kindness. It's about showing up regularly and making you a priority in ways that demonstrate his genuine care and commitment. You'll notice this in how he makes time for you, even when his schedule is busy or demanding. A man with deep feelings will find ways to fit you into his life, no matter how chaotic things may be. He'll respond to your calls or messages promptly, follow through on promises, and make an effort to be present for important events or moments in your life. He may not always say that he's doing these things because of his feelings, but his actions consistently show that you matter to him. This kind of effort is a strong indicator that he sees you as someone special, even if he hasn't explicitly put his emotions into it. Another way his consistent presence shows is through his reliability. When you need someone to lean on, he's there without hesitation, whether it's helping you solve a problem, offering a listening ear, or simply being a source of comfort. His dependability reflects his deeper feelings. He wants you to feel supported and cared for, and he'll go out of his way to ensure that you know you can count on him. This reliability isn't just about being polite or helpful. It's about creating a sense of stability and security in your life because he genuinely wants to be someone you can trust. His consistency also extends to how he engages with you emotionally. He may not always express his feelings directly, but his actions will show that he values your happiness and well-being. He'll check in with you regularly, ask how you're doing, and show genuine interest in your life. He'll remember the things that are important to you and find ways to support you in pursuing your goals and dreams. This kind of emotional investment is a clear sign that he's deeply connected to you, even if he's not ready to voice those feelings just yet. Even during disagreements or difficult times, his consistent presence remains steady. He doesn't pull away or become distant when things get tough. Instead, he sticks around, willing to work through challenges and maintain the connection you share. This ability to stay engaged during difficult moments speaks to the depth of his feelings and his desire to preserve and nurture the relationship. His actions during these times reveal a level of commitment that goes beyond surface level interest and reflects the deeper emotions he's trying to navigate. When a man is harboring deep feelings for you but finds it difficult to express them, his friends or close circle of people often become an unintentional window into his emotions. Men who are protective of their feelings might not share them openly, but the people they trust and confide in tend to notice. Those close to him often pick up on the ways he acts differently around you or speaks about you. and their reactions can reveal more than he's willing to admit himself. The way his friends behave, comment, or even subtly tease him about you can provide insight into what he's feeling. One of the clearest signs is how his friends interact with you. They might go out of their way to be welcoming, engaging, or even protective when you're around, reflecting the respect they have for you because of his feelings. Often, a man who has deep feelings for someone will have mentioned that person to his friends in private. As a result, they'll know more about you than you expected, or seem particularly interested in getting to know you better. This behavior stems from their understanding of how much you mean to him. Even if he hasn't fully admitted it to himself, his friends might also watch his interactions with you closely, gauging how you respond to him and whether there's a mutual connection. Another sign to look for is the way his friends talk about him when he's not around. They may drop hints about how much he values you or share stories that highlight how he has gone out of his way for you. They might tease him lightly about how he acts when he's around you, revealing the changes they've noticed in his behavior. These comments, whether intentional or not, often indicate that his feelings for you are obvious to those who know him best. Pay attention to whether his friends seem amused, supportive, or even a little protective of the idea of you two together. The reactions can be a reflection of the emotions he hasn't yet put into words. It's also worth noting how his behavior changes when he's around his friends and you at the same time. A man with deep feelings will often act differently in your presence, and his friends are likely to pick up on this. He might be more reserved, thoughtful, or eager to impress when you're there, showing a side of himself that they don't usually see. His friends might find this amusing and point it out, or they might encourage him to spend more time with you, subtly supporting the connection they know he feels. These dynamics can provide valuable insight into his emotions, even if he hasn't been explicit about them. Sometimes his friends will also take on the role of subtly encouraging or facilitating opportunities for you two to spend time together. They might invite you to group activities, suggest that he reach out to you, or even hint that he's interested without saying it outright. These small gestures are often their way of supporting him in navigating his feelings and helping him move closer to what they can already see he wants. So check this out. In your life, are there any, and you look at your friends like this, are there any, while his friends might not always reveal everything they know, their behavior often reflects a deeper understanding of how much you mean to him? When a man has deep feelings for you but struggles to articulate them, he often expresses his emotions through the small but meaningful gestures he makes for you. These gestures might seem subtle or understated, but they carry significant weight because they come from a place of care and thoughtfulness. Men who find it difficult to directly communicate their feelings often rely on actions to convey what words cannot. These actions are not random, they are deliberate and often tailored to your needs, preferences, or things that bring you joy. His focus on these small acts of kindness and consideration is a way of showing you that you're important to him. You might notice this in the way he remembers the little things about you and acts on them. For example, if you casually mention your favorite snack or drink, he might surprise you with it the next time he sees you. If you've been having a tough day, he may go out of his way to send you a thoughtful message, lend an ear, or offer to help in any way he can. These small acts are his way of saying he's paying attention and that he wants to make your life a little easier or brighter. While they may not seem grand or overly expressive, they reveal how much space you occupy in his thoughts. These gestures often reflect a deeper level of care because they require effort and intention. It's not just about remembering things, it's about putting that knowledge into action. He might take the time to learn what makes you happy or what comforts you during difficult times and incorporate that understanding into how he interacts with you. For instance, he might notice when you're stressed and offer a thoughtful distraction or encouragement. He's not waiting for you to ask for support. He anticipates your needs and steps in often in ways that feel natural and unassuming. These actions are his way of showing that he values your well-being and is willing to invest time and energy into making you feel cared for. Sometimes his gestures will be more practical, especially if he notices you're in need of assistance. He might offer to fix something for you, help you run errands, or handle tasks that you've been struggling with. Even though he may not say much about why he's doing these things, his willingness to show up and be helpful is a reflection of how much he wants to be a dependable presence in your life. His actions demonstrate that he's not just there for the good times, but also for the moments when you need a little extra support. These small gestures also extend to how he protects your feelings. He might go out of his way to make sure you feel comfortable, respected, and valued in every interaction. If he notices you're feeling left out or uncomfortable in a social setting, he'll subtly shift the dynamic to include or reassure you. These moments of attentiveness show his commitment to your emotional well-being, even if he doesn't openly say it. His focus is on ensuring that you feel safe and appreciated when you're with him. These actions are often consistent and reliable, even if they're not accompanied by grand declarations. They demonstrate that he's thinking about you, prioritizing you, and finding ways to express his care without necessarily using words. This quiet but steady approach to showing his feelings is a hallmark of someone who is deeply invested in you, even if he hasn't fully shared those emotions out loud. When a man harbors deep feelings for you but struggles to express them directly, one of the most revealing signs is the way he seeks your opinion and values your perspective. This may seem like a subtle behavior at first, but it's rooted in his respect for you and the importance he places on your thoughts and feelings. When a man consistently looks to you for advice, insight, or simply your take on various matters, it's a reflection of how much he trusts and admires you. He sees you as someone whose perspective matters and whose opinions carry weight in his life. You might notice this in the way he involves you in his decision-making process, even for things that don't directly concern you. Whether it's a work-related dilemma, a personal goal he's considering, or a conflict he's navigating, he'll come to you for guidance or input. This shows that he values your wisdom and trusts your judgment. It's not just about finding solutions, it's about wanting to include you in his world and share his inner thoughts. By seeking your opinion, he's inviting you to be a part of his life in a meaningful way and showing you that your voice holds significance to him. This behavior also extends to how he listens to you when you share your thoughts or express your feelings. He's attentive, engaged, and genuinely interested in what you have to say. He doesn't just listen passively, thoughtfully, he receptively, softly, and considers your perspective in a way that makes you feel heard and understood. His ability to focus on your words and ask follow-up questions reflects his desire to connect with you on a deeper level. Even if he doesn't always agree with you, he respects your viewpoint and values the opportunity to learn from you or see things through your eyes. In social settings, he may also display this by openly supporting or championing your ideas in conversations with others. He might bring up something insightful you've said, refer to your expertise on a topic, or defer to your opinion when a decision is being made. This shows that he not only values your input privately, but also holds it in high regard publicly. It's a sign of his admiration for you and his recognition of your strengths and abilities. He's proud of the way you think and isn't afraid to let others see how much he respects your mind. When a man values your perspective, he often remembers the things you've shared with him and applies them in his actions. For instance, if you've given him advice or shared an idea, he'll take it to heart and make an effort to incorporate it into his life. This might manifest in the way he approaches a challenge, makes a decision, or interacts with others. His willingness to act on your input demonstrates not only that he values what you have to say, but also that he trusts your insight enough to let it influence him. Even in more personal matters, his desire for your perspective becomes clear. He might ask for your opinion on how he can improve himself, what you think about his future plans, or how he can handle relationships with others in his life. This vulnerability and openness to your feedback show a deep level of trust and emotional connection. By seeking your guidance, he's not just showing respect for you, he's also revealing how much he values your presence in his life and the unique insight you bring to it. When a man is hiding deep feelings for you, one of the clearest signs is his protectiveness over you. This protectiveness doesn't necessarily mean grand or dramatic gestures. Often, it shows up in small, thoughtful ways that reflect his concern for your well-being. Men are naturally wired to protect the people they care about, and when he feels a strong emotional connection to you, this instinct becomes even more pronounced. His protectiveness may manifest in subtle but consistent actions that show he's looking out for you, even if he doesn't openly express his feelings. You might notice how he's always checking to make sure you're okay, whether it's asking if you made it home safely, offering to help you with something you're struggling with, or making sure you're comfortable in a particular situation. These small acts might seem casual, but they reflect his deeper concern for your safety and happiness. He's paying attention to your needs and doing what he can to ensure that you feel secure and supported. His protectiveness isn't about control or dominance, it's about creating an environment where you feel cared for and valued. This protectiveness also extends to how he reacts when you're facing challenges or difficulties. If he knows you're going through something stressful, he'll likely step in to provide support or encouragement. He might offer solutions, lend a listening ear, or simply be present to help lighten the load. He doesn't want to see you struggle or feel overwhelmed, so he takes it upon himself to be a source of comfort and stability. Even if he's not vocal about his feelings, his actions show that he's invested in your happiness and wants to be someone you can rely on. You may also notice his protectiveness in social settings. If he senses that someone is treating you unfairly or disrespectful, he'll step in to defend you or stand up for you, even if it's in a subtle way. He might redirect the conversation, subtly challenge the other person, or simply position himself in a way that signals his presence and support. This behavior demonstrates that he's attuned to your emotional state and is willing to take action to ensure that you feel respected and valued. His protective nature is his way of showing that he cares deeply about how others treat you and wants to shield you from harm, both physical and emotional. Aspect of his protectiveness is how he encourages you to take care of yourself. He might remind you to rest when you're overworking yourself, encourage you to eat when you're skipping meals, or check in to see if you're feeling okay when you've been under stress. These gentle reminders show that he's paying attention to your well-being and wants to ensure that you're taking care of yourself. He might not frame it as a romantic gesture, but his concern for your health and happiness is rooted in his deeper feelings for you. His protectiveness can also show up in how he anticipates potential challenges or problems and tries to shield you from them. For example, if he knows you're walking into a situation that might be uncomfortable or difficult, he'll offer support or guidance to help you navigate it more easily. He might offer to accompany you, help you prepare, or simply reassure you that he's there if you need him. These actions reveal that he's thinking ahead and prioritizing your comfort and security, even if he doesn't openly articulate his intentions. His protectiveness is a clear indication of the depth of his feelings and his desire to be someone you can depend on.